Hello, this is Tim Underwood, the counselor at Glenville State College. Just to let you know, my office is on the second floor of the PE Health building, which is the old gymnasium here on the main campus. My office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. I'm also available after hours. I'm on call 24/7. I'm available to all students, whether they be commuting or on campus, part-time or full-time. And my services are completely free and confidential. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we go on, but I'd like to introduce you to what is available here on campus and online as far as mental health is concerned. If folks have problems with depression or anxiety, or just kind of want to go on and take it a spin and try to figure out whether or not they may need some help. And anyway, everything on here likewise is confidential, so let me just kind of show you how to navigate to find me and to find help on the web page. So here you have the main Glenville State College homepage. You'll need to go up here and click on Student Life. Under Student Life, you will come down your left-hand column and you will come to the Counseling Center. Under Counseling Center, this gives you my phone number, 304-462-6432, my hours. It'll also give you the number for public safety. Again, I am on call 24 hours a day, but if you cannot reach me, you can contact public safety. Likewise, we have a 24-hour on-call community mental health center. If somehow you cannot reach me and you cannot reach public safety, and that is United Summit Center, and it gives an 800 number here to be able to talk to them. Also, 24 hours a day, if you or a friend may be having serious thoughts of suicide, we have a national suicide hotline that you can call. This talks about us. I am a licensed professional counselor. I'm also a certified clinical advanced addictions counselor, a nationally certified gambling counselor, and a licensed social worker. I've been here at Glenville State for 9 years, and again, not only do I work as a counselor, but I also teach some classes along the way. So this gives you our mission statement. The Counseling Center believes that academic achievement and personal growth are inseparable from development of the student. We value each student, respect and embrace diversity, provide high-quality, time-effective counseling services for the development of healthy behaviors to reach academic and personal potential. Everything that is shared with me is completely and totally confidential. The only two exceptions to that is if you happen to be a danger to yourself or somebody else. At that point, if you told me you were going to hurt yourself or someone else, I will do whatever I need to do to make sure you get the help or other people are protected. At the very bottom here, you will see my picture. So if you see me around campus, feel free to come up and talk to me. Again, probably the easiest way and best way to contact me is at my GSC email, and that is timothy.underwood@glenville.edu. You will see that again later as well. What I want to show you is what is available actually online. This is a link. It may not look like a link, but this is a link. It's called ULifeline. It is a link that is a national link. If you choose to go on and get specific information from them later, you can actually register, tell them you're a student and the like, and they will send you information, tools, and other programs that might be able to help you with your emotional health. So we'll close that out. Again, at the top of the page, again, you will find our address. My address is Box 1931 here on campus. Again, the PE building, room 206, and my phone number. Also, down at the bottom of this page, you will find all of the different specifics that I have already mentioned, our location, address, email, and the like. Now, if you go back up to the top, you will find a national fact line. You will find facts on alcohol and drugs, anxiety disorders, bipolar disorder, borderline disorder, cutting, depression, eating disorders, emotional health, schizophrenia, stress, suicidal behavior. You click on any one of those, And it will take you to signs and symptoms. It will take you to different resources. You'll find on most pages and during the header also a self-evaluator. So again, if you decide that you would like to evaluate yourself to see maybe if you're having problems with depression, anxiety, or some other mental health issue, you can click on that. I clicked on it earlier, played with it. The link does work. It is a little lengthy, but it is confidential. At the very end, it will give you the option of having the information sent to me if you like, or also the option of calling them and talking to them. And you'll see here that there is also a 24-hour hotline that you can call and talk to somebody. So that's when you look at the facts. You'll find facts on all of these different items dealing with mental health. If you go to wellness, you will find sections on sleep, exercise, nutrition, stress management, healthy relationships. There's other websites also, as well as newspaper wellness sections. If you're worried about your roommate's eating behaviors, so again, this doesn't only deal with issues you might have, but those people around you. All kinds of different articles that you can view and take a look at. If you want to help a friend, this will bring up items on how to identify whether a friend is struggling, how you can help, how to talk to a friend who's struggling, noticing problems on Facebook and how to help a friend. Again, other related articles. And then, like I said earlier, get help now. Again, U-Lifeline is a program that is used by many colleges in the state of West Virginia as well as nationwide. You'll also find other links down here on the bottom left. You will find a link to JED. You will find a link to JED Campus, Half of Us, Love is Louder. And so I do welcome you to use this. Also to use my services here on campus as well. Now what I would like to do here for a moment, we're going to minimize this. I want to bring up a PowerPoint. Approximately 3 years ago, a law was passed in West Virginia called Jamie's Law. There was a young man whose sister is associated with Glenville State College. She went to the West Virginia legislature. Her brother had committed suicide back when he was, I'm not sure specifically in college, but college-aged. She realized there were some different things that possibly people could have done to intervene during the time that he was suicidal, which may have prevented him from committing suicide. And after she got done talking with legislature and the like, the state legislature did pass a law that all institutes of higher education, of which Glenville State College is one, we are to address mental health concerns on our campus, make our students aware of the services that are available to students on our campus as well as off of campus, and also to specifically talk about suicide. Again, I know it's not an easy topic to talk about. It may touch home, very close to home for many folks who are looking at this, because many people, including myself, have been touched by the suicide of a friend or a loved one. If you need to talk to someone, even if this would happen to trigger emotions in you, thoughts in you, and the like, again, feel free to contact me. Again, you here have my number as well as my college email. Again, I can't express enough the importance. If you want to make an appointment with me, probably the easiest way to do it, I do not have a secretary, but you can email me. I will probably email you back within 24 hours or sooner. Even I check my emails on the weekends. I will probably ask you what your class schedule is. I will pull out my schedule book, and I will look at your schedule, my schedule, and I will get you in as soon as possible. And typically, I try to get people in within 24 hours, if at all possible. In emergency situations, I also come out to the dorm and meet with people, talk with people, and the like, even in the middle of the night if necessary. So this is my college number as well as my email. Again, if you call public safety, they can contact me on my cell, and I can get back to you as well. Likewise, If you are suicidal and you do not want to talk to somebody on campus, you can call the 1-800-273-TALK. 8255 is the translation of TALK, to get 24-hour help online. Some of the facts based from 2015 data that was just released this year, 2017. In 2015, 5,491 youth in the United States aged 15 to 24 died by suicide. That is from a statistic from the Center for Disease Control in the U.S. Suicide in the last few years has increased to be the second leading cause of death for 15 to 24-year-olds. Again, that first happened in 2015. It has remained the same for the last 2 years. Prior to that, it was third. Females are more likely to attempt suicide. However, men are 4 times more likely to die by suicide simply because men usually use more lethal means. But the number of women who are completing suicide is increasing likewise as more and more people use firearms. In 2015, among all age groups, suicide was the 10th leading cause of death. Now we're talking here among all U.S. citizens, from the youngest to the oldest. Suicide was the 10th leading cause of death. As far as West Virginia is ranked, West Virginia is ranked 14th in the USA in overall suicide rate, and we are 38th in the U.S. In suicide among 15 to 24-year-olds. No suicide ranking is a good statistic, but it's much better for youth in West Virginia than it is overall. The one thing I cannot emphasize enough is youth suicide period, can be prevented. I'd like to make you aware of some of the risk factors for suicide. Those are the things that if they're present in your life, it increases the possibility of a person having suicidal thoughts or plan or intent. And that is an underlying mental illness. The vast majority of people who commit suicide are depressed at the time. They may not be diagnosed as depressed, but typically depression plays a part, as well as possible bipolar disorder or schizophrenia and the like. Substance abuse also plays a big part in suicide. The majority of people committing suicide, regardless of all of the other risk factors, are under the influence of substances at the time. Alcohol many times allows you to do what you would not do otherwise. So if people are depressed and down, probably one of the last things they need to be doing is drinking, because again, that might allow them to do something they normally would not have done. Also, the availability of firearms increases risk factors. That's why in the state of West Virginia, when we do involuntary commitments for people who will not go voluntarily, who are at suicide risk, we make sure that all firearms are secured. If someone has a previous suicide attempt, that also increases the likelihood that they will attempt suicide again in the future. People who have non-suicidal self-injury, such as cutting and the like, are also at a higher risk for suicide in the future. People who have had exposure to friends or family members who have committed suicide are also at a higher risk for suicide themselves. And of course, low esteem or low self-esteem, not believing in yourself, not seeing a way out, seeing limited options, all of those are risk factors that can lead to somebody contemplating suicide. Among the protective factors, if you are connected with family and friends, if you're in a safe school environment, and again, you have safe peers and the like, if you don't have access to firearms, if you're doing well academically, if your self-esteem is high, all of those are considered protective factors, and again, may not limit the thoughts of suicide, but again, lower them greatly. Again, anytime we can feel connected and feel like life is worth living and we have a reason to live, and friends, that gives us a reason for hope. Again, suicide, especially youth suicide, can be prevented. I'd also like to go over some suicide myths and facts, one of the questions you saw in your pre-test. You'll also see in your post-test. Suicide is the most preventable form of death. That is absolutely true. And so for a moment, I'd like to go over some of the myths concerning suicide, as well as the facts concerning those same myths. Myth number one: no one can stop a suicide once someone has decided to take their own life. The fact: if people in crisis get the help they need, they will probably never be suicidal again. Almost any positive action may save a life. Prior to coming to Glenville State College, I ran a 12-bed crisis stabilization unit where I worked specifically with people detoxing, people who were in psychological emergencies, and folks who were suicidal. The vast majority of people, when they began to think more clearly and again began to see that there were options, were very happy that they had not followed through with their suicide ideation or attempt. Second myth: those who talk about suicide don't do it. Fact: people who talk about suicide may try or even complete an act of self-destruction. So anytime anybody begins to talk about suicide, it may be manipulative, but it may very well not be. The thought may very well be there. When people talk about it, they need to get help. That's what we're here for. Myth number 4: suicide people keep plans to themselves. Fact: most suicidal people communicate their intent sometime during the week preceding their attempt. So most people want other people to know and want a way out. And the fact that you care may make all the difference in the world. A fifth myth: suicide people really want to die. The fact is, most people who have survived suicide later admit that they really didn't want to die. They just didn't see any other options at the time. When we are stressed, when we are depressed, when things aren't going our way, we tend to see life through a very, very narrow window, and so we many times do not see our options. It happens to all of us. One of the first things we try to do is get people thinking about the future and positive about the future. And again, helping them realize that there are other options. And then the last suicide myth and fact: confronting someone you may think is suicidal will only make them angry and increase the risk of suicide. Talking to somebody about the possibility of committing suicide does not increase the likelihood that they will do it. Most people are relieved when you want to talk about it. It makes it easier to talk about. You will not plant the idea in their head if it wasn't already there. It's okay to ask. It's important to ask. All of the RAs here on campus have been trained with what is called QPR. It is a national evidence-based program. And again, it is about asking the question: are you suicidal? Then, finding them the help they need, responding, giving them the hope. How should you not ask the question? You should not ask, "You're not suicidal, are you?" because you have at that point told them that you don't want them saying that they're suicidal. And again, that will possibly close the door to that opportunity, and then that door may not open again. Again, it's very important that we get this message out. If you will watch your emails and flyers around campus, there will be various opportunities throughout the year. We will be having workshops on everything from depression to anger management, to stress, to suicide, to alcohol, to marijuana as part of our ongoing mental health series. All of those are free. I try to talk to professors about giving extra credit, if at all possible, for attending or maybe writing a paper about the presentation. But again, those will be available to you. We will put that information out. And again, if you want to come see me, if you need to come see me, again, my name is Tim Underwood. I would like to do anything I could to help you along your journey. And have a great year. Thank you very much.